Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Baseball Edition, and my guest for the final episode here in 2018 is none other than senior relief pitcher on the Menlo College baseball team, Daniel Betts. Dan, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Brian. It's a pleasure.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better now. You have a very strong Twitter following, or at least from what I see on Twitter, and recently you tweeted out a list of your favorite memories from here at Menlo College during your time on the baseball team. First of all, how difficult was it to compile this list?
You know, it was pretty difficult to come up with or to remember certain things that had happened just because it all feels like a blur and it's hard prioritizing which is better than which. But once I got going through our first year at Menlo College, it suddenly everything just, it hit me. I remembered certain games, but I more remembered moments like the Daniel Chavez no-hitter is something that I'll remember my entire life, something that I wasn't even aware of was happening until the ninth inning. Yeah, it was pretty difficult to just narrow it down. There's so many things on there.
I wanted to ask you specifically about your favorite memory, or at least what you dubbed as your favorite memory on the Twitter chain, the show and go from the 2016 playoffs. I was down there with you guys, so I got to see that firsthand, but did you actually think that would work?
Well, going into that, we had a lot of pressure on ourselves. We played Biola the first game, and Biola was a team that always gave us trouble, especially late in the season. They just, for whatever reason, never really backed down and were never intimidated by us. And then losing that game, we really felt a lot of pressure. We really felt that may go out of control. And, you know, Jake brought us up and reminded us that year, our whole thing was we were going to play our brand of baseball. Other teams, they all felt like we're going to play the game the right way, and we thought, you know, we're a team of misfits. We're a team of guys that are D1 bounce backs or maybe not considered good enough to play at other schools, but, you know, we're all together here, and we're going to play our brand of baseball. And that was no matter where you put the defense, we were going to hit it over your head, over the fence, and no one can catch a home run. And, you know, going into that game, we were on the bus, it's, you know, an hour before game time heading over there, and it was incredible. We were electric. We were like, wow, we're really going to do this. Like, showed up 20 minutes before the game. They're finishing their in and out, and we just got there, started playing catch, and took the field.
And of course, blasted a little bit of how does it feel to be rich.
Yes, we played that both times before each game. You know, especially those teams that we were playing. Vanguard, I think, won 38 games that year, and that Westmont team was incredible. And for us to beat both those teams that had absolutely owned us for most of the season we felt like we were on top of the earth.
Yeah,
so
it was a pretty remarkable way to wrap up the season after going through a little bit of a slide at the end, coming back and all of a sudden doing something completely random off the charts like that and having it work out. It's pretty special.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there were also a couple of other things that have developed over the years, and some of them during that 2016 playoff run. Some of your favorite sayings from the baseball team, things like shaky pizza, try, leverage, and so on. What's your favorite one and why?
Well, first I give a shout out to leverage because every time Tanner says, uh-oh, leverage, I get so pumped. And we just feed off of it in the whole game. It's one of my favorite things. But I would have to say, shaky pizza is my favorite. It's my favorite because it hardly comes out, but when it does come out, it's the ninth inning, and we need it. We got ourselves into a rally corner, as we called it, in Hope, where everyone stands in one corner of the dugout. We stuck our hands out, and we yelled, shaky pizza. And what does the pitcher decide to do? Well, he goes 3-1 to Adgar, walk, next pitch, Joe Gillette does his thing, you know, 700 feet.
Yeah.
Yep, gone. That's
incredible. And I've never heard of that one before. I know it was this year, but I still haven't seen that one come out at home yet. Have you broken it out at home?
I think we brought it out once against San Diego Christian. I was sick that game. Apparently we brought it out. I wasn't there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
wonderful.
Yeah.
And I guess it hurts that I haven't traveled with you guys this year, so I haven't gotten to really experience all of the weird oddities from this year's team.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's hard to break out shaky pizza, but when it does come out, it's that special moment, and it always works.
Of course, the one that I think of a lot is Try, because that was during the 2016 playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And you were the one who was holding the sign. It literally just said Try on it.
Well, yeah, our bus that we were on, it's funny. The people that were on it before us, we don't know who they were, but they left a ton of stuff on there, and some of it was wrote and we assumed to be Chinese. And and then there was a sign that just said "Try," and we were like, "This is great. Let's do this today. Let's do this in the conference tournament. Let's try."
And sure enough, you tried,
Yeah.
and you got a couple of wins out of
Yeah.
it. Now, I have many other things I want to ask you about your time at Menlo, but I think what I'm going to do is give you the floor here. You have been the subject to so many Brownie Bites over the years that it's kind of comical at this point. So now I want to give you a chance to fire back at your teammates for anything that you feel like you can say.
Okay, cool. I have a couple guys here. The first one, Joe, you are the king of topspin. Boom, roasted. Justin Bruce, your body fat is lower than your ERA. Boom, roasted. Jordan Tagawa, when you stand on the mound, you're almost as tall as the batter in the box. Boom, roasted. Dylan Cole, if you had a hit for every time you talked about your girlfriend, you might actually play third instead of first. Boom, roasted. Karsten, Andrew Merkin has more at-bats than you have wins this season. Boom, roasted. Finally, for my favorite player, Wyatt, the sheriff, Wheels. Coach called us out the other day for not running hard 90s. He asked, guys, do we have a reason why this is happening? Wyatt, I didn't have the heart to tell him, but you were running at full speed, man, and you're just not that fast. Boom, roasted.
Well done. That's incredible. And the fact that you went full Michael Scott on it and pulled that off with the boom roasted, I take it that was a very big inspiration for you, big Office guy?
Yeah, The Office has always been an inspiration my entire life.
It's not a bad way to live your life.
No.
I do a lot of little camera turns. Like I look over at the camera when I'm just randomly.
Do you give him a Jim Smirk little?
Yeah, a little bit like, what's going on here? I love doing that. People never understand what I'm doing, but you just got to watch the show and then you figure it out.
Yeah.
Favorite episode? If you can pick one.
It's hard to pick one, but I like the episode when Dwight and Michael fight each other in the karate.
And they start just going wailing at each other like that.
Yeah.
And then just he's like trying to give him a noogie or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's hilarious. I love that one. So many of the older ones are the best ones.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, let's try to talk a little baseball now and focus
Time to get
on.
serious?
Yeah, we have to kind of get serious a little bit on the show at some point. The Oaks were eliminated from the playoffs last weekend against Westmont in a 3-game series. Now the focus is on Senior Day, which is this weekend on Saturday. Obviously, a chance at the playoffs would be awesome, but is it nice going into Senior Day with really that being the focus?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks not going to the playoffs, obviously. I was never on a winning team growing up, so when I came to Menlo and we went to the playoffs the first 2 years, I kind of was like accustomed to it. And so I assumed always my last game would be played on another field. But, I mean, in a way, the pressure's kind of off now, and we kind of get to look forward to the games now as seniors. I think we've kind of like come to terms with it, and we're starting to move forward. So, yeah, in a way, it takes some pressure off. Maybe enjoy the moment a little more.
Yeah. You've seen a lot of potent offenses here for the Oaks. Where does this one rank on your list?
It's hard. I mean, they're obviously, no disrespect to this lineup, they're not as good as the Lucas Ersic lineup. I think was the most potent top to bottom, and then last year's lineup definitely the second best. But I would probably say about third or fourth. I think it's on par with the lineup that had Wes Hoskins and Dan Comstock in it. And
the scary thing about it is, in so many regards, this offense is statistically better than some of the teams from years past. You know, you talk about averages, you talk about runs scored. Oaks are ranked number 2 in the conference and well up there in the nation in all of those categories. The big difference, you're missing some home runs, but in terms of fundamentally getting everyone on board with a new coaching philosophy this year, it seems like the hitters have really started to buy in down the stretch.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things was getting everyone to buy in, but at the end of the day, I think the one thing that everyone agrees on is they want to hit the ball hard, and I think that's what everyone's trying to do when they get up there.
And that's something that's been happening a lot this season for the Oaks. Now, while the pitching staff has at times had its struggles this season, what has impressed you most about the guys on the staff?
I think the biggest thing is just the guys are going out there and they work hard every day. They go out there every day with, look, we're really trying to get better. It's obviously no secret we're not pitching well, and we haven't pitched well. And it's not fun going out there, giving up run after run. It sucks, but I think just the way that everyone continues to show up and they continue to fight, I think that impresses me the most, because I've played baseball with a lot of guys, and I know a lot of other guys that would have just packed it in.
Yeah, but not this team.
No.
Always a lot of fight left in this
Not
team.
packing it in.
Always a lot of fight left, and especially late in games, which has really amazed me all season long.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it was early in the year or late in the year. You guys maybe facing an early deficit, something like 7-1. It's been that way several times this year, and you close it 7th, 8th inning, and you're right there.
Yep. It's tough to kill the Elks.
It really is. Now, this week you guys are going up against the 9th-ranked team in the nation, William Jessup, to wrap up the 2018 year. What are you guys hoping to accomplish in this final series?
I think we're just looking to go out on a positive note. I think, obviously, the guys want to win the series. Even a sweep would be great.
Of course.
But, I think going out on a positive note, doing the things that Coach talks about with good catch play, selfless at-bats, throwing strikes, and I think those are the big things they're trying to accomplish. I'm hoping that these guys get a little momentum to carry them into next season, because they, want to put this season behind them and move forward. So.
Yeah, moving forward, and with a whole nother year of recruiting for Coach Carrion,
Yeah.
and a whole year of really more so his guys he's bringing in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a scary Oaks team next
Well,
season.
yeah.
When you look at the offensive way they've performed this year down the stretch, and potentially moving into next year,
Yeah.
you get some arms in there, and
Yeah.
look out for the Oaks in 2019.
Oh, yeah. Don't sleep on the Oaks next season.
Can never sleep on the Oaks. All right, Dan, let's get to the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions that don't involve you for a change. Give me your best answer. Question number 1. Which teammate is the least interesting person to follow on Twitter?
That one's pretty easy. Brandon Dietzman is easily the least interesting person to follow on Twitter. He might be one of the least interesting people I've ever met in my life. No offense to Dietz, but his constant tweets about how tough work is, but how blessed he is to have the people around him. It's just, come on, man. Enough of that. Getting kind of tired of it. The other day he tweeted about, granted, I do like Eric Burns, but he tweeted randomly out of the blue, wow, was thinking about Eric Burns and Nick Swisher, the hustle they brought to the game. I love that. And it's like, awesome, Dietz, cool.
I mean, to be fair, those were the heydays for the Oakland Athletics.
I know you are an A's fan, but I feel like Dietz may be in a little denial about how good the A's actually are.
Well, were. Are, you're right.
Yeah.
But they were pretty good.
No, Dietz thinks they're going to the playoffs this season.
Well, very similar to you guys. If there was some pitching, then
Yeah,
maybe you would be.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
The A's don't have much pitching either. So,
No, yep.
although the last couple of games, 3-game winning streak for the Green and Gold, woohoo, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Although if we're celebrating over a 3-game winning streak,
You'll be okay.
that's a little sad. Question number 2. Which teammate is most likely to give up 6 home runs in a row during summer ball?
It's tough. I saw Shane Jones the other day throw a pen, and, the whole time we got Coach White going, well, Shane, I think it looks pretty good. And in my mind, I think a couple other guys were thinking, I might hit that ball 700 feet, Shane. So, Shane Jones, continue to be a position player. Don't pitch. That's all I'm gonna say.
Would you mind telling the story of where I got that question from?
Okay, so I played summer ball in Nevada, and granted, the field, Wyatt and Eby can tell you, the field is like 300 feet all the way around, and it's Reno, so the ball flies.
Ball carries well.
I'm pitching, playing this team called Top Speed Baseball. I don't know if you've heard of them, but their whole thing is #BatFlip season, and they're all about getting theirs, hitting dingers, and I was trying to get mine, and unfortunately, I gave up a solo home run. No big deal. Next pitch, solo home run. About 15 pitches later, I gave up six straight solo home runs before getting taken out of the game, to which my summer ball coach told me, I'm trying to teach you a lesson about life, to never give up, to get tougher. And all I could think was, wow, after the 5th one, just get me out of here.
So that you can try, right?
Yeah.
And it paid off for you.
Exactly.
Because you kept trying.
I kept trying in life.
And here you are today.
With the fantastic Brian Brownfield, the Dan Patrick of Menlo Sports.
Oh my gosh, stop it. You're going to make me blush. You don't have to lie. And then question number 3, which fellow senior is most likely to show up incognito at a Menlo baseball game next year and try to make his way onto the roster?
There's one guy I know that would think he's really clever and would think that he's sneaking onto the roster, but in reality, everyone would recognize it was him. But I think Coach Carrion would keep him, and that's Justin Bruce. Justin Bruce would change his name to Bruston Juice, and he would have his mustache from the William Jessup series he had. It was this nice trucker mustache, and I know Coach Carrion, I know they have a love-hate relationship. They go up and down. Loves Bruce. Hates Bruce. That's everyone.
Yeah.
That's his personality. But I think he's definitely going to show up next year. First baseman's glove, outfielder's glove, pitcher's glove, and say, hey, Coach, did you miss me?
No, he's not going to say that. He'll just say he's Bruston Juice.
Yeah.
Coach, I'm ready for the team. Where's my tryout?
I'm ready, yep.
Yeah, I heard you needed a first baseman. I'm ready to go.
Yep. Sorry, Dylan Cole. Sorry, Stephen Langley.
I can throw 2 from the right side, Coach. Just watch me go.
Yep.
I can be your 7-inning guy.
Yeah.
The first thing I think of when you said Bruston Juice, and I don't know why I thought this, but because we were talking about The Office earlier, the dentist named Crentist.
Oh, yes.
That's literally the only thing I thought of when you said that. Dwight, who's your dentist's name?
Crentist.
Dentist's name is Crentist? Sounds an awful lot like dentist. Perhaps that's why he became a dentist.
Yep.
We could honestly go on and on hours and hours talking about The Office.
This exchange should carry on all day.
It really could, but I think we're going to wrap it up at that. Put a bow on it. 2018 season's over, Dan. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Brian.
You're welcome. Folks, the baseball team, they are at home here to wrap up the 2018 season. They have a 3-game series against 9th-ranked William Jessup. It is a doubleheader on Friday that will begin at 11 o'clock a.m., and then Senior Day will begin before Game 3 of the series, which is set for Saturday at 2 o'clock. So get on out there early to say goodbye to your 2018 seniors like Daniel Betts right here, and then watch the final game of the season start at 2 o'clock. If you can't make it out, all 3 games of the series will be streamed live on the Menlo College Sports Network. Well, that'll do it for our 2018 season of Unrooted. Don't forget the final softball episode is coming out this week as well. We're also hoping to have one more golf episode before the summer series comes up over the months of June and July, when you get to go behind the scenes to the athletics department here at Menlo College and see what people like myself do to try and make this department as cohesive and as awesome as it really is. So stay tuned for that in the summer. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you over the summer, and we'll see you out here this weekend at Cartan Field. Take care.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid.